Hello, my name is Craig Ashapa, and I'm a technical marketing engineer with Cisco's Data Center Product Group. This video is part of a series that is intended to show some of the unique advantages made possible by Cisco's server offering called the Unified Computing System, or UCS for short. This video will show the viewer the details of the provisioning efficiencies made possible with UCS storage constructs, including an overview of groups, pools, templates, and policies. Let's begin our demonstration of provisioning efficiencies with UCS storage constructs. Throughout this demo, I'm going to be creating some new constructs as well as reutilizing constructs that I've previously configured. Let's go and take a look at vSANs first. Let's go over here to the SAN tab. In vSANs, we have Fabric A and Fabric B. vSANs are used for internal traffic engineering if not going up to a northbound Cisco device, or internal and external traffic engineering if going up to a Cisco SAN device. So let's go ahead and create a vSAN real quick. We'll call it just video vSAN. And I'm going to do both fabrics configured differently option. This will allow me to create both Fabric A and Fabric B at one time. Give this a number of vSAN 500 with an internal FCOE backing VLAN of VLAN 500. And then on the Fabric B, I'll call it 501 for the vSAN. And then for the FCOE VLAN backing internal VLAN is 501. Hit OK. Now you'll see on the Fabric A we created a 500 over here. And on Fabric B, under vSANs, we created a 501. And we'll realize these later as we progress through the storage constructs. Now let's take a look at SAN pin groups. SAN pin groups are utilized for engineering which uplinks out of the Fabric Internet your SAN traffic will be going to for a specific service profile. So I could have multiple northbound devices in SANs. I could have multiple MDS devices. I could have multiple Cisco N5K devices, or what have you. I've created a SAN pin group, and this is going to a Nexus 5000. You'll see I have it on Fabric A and Fabric B, and I have it pinned to port channel 40. So the traffic that I go ahead and assign to, if I have a service profile that's going to pin group FC N5K, the traffic will be going out of the northbound FC port channel 40 going on Fabric A and FC port channel 41 on Fabric B. Okay, now let's move forward and let's go ahead and take a look at the worldwide name pools and worldwide port pools. So within UCS, you have pools of worldwide port names and worldwide node names. These are dynamic preset blocks that you've set up. And when you create a VHBA, it goes ahead and pulls the number, the worldwide node name and worldwide port names from these pools. I have a node name pool here called pool Craig, just WWNN. It has 128 WWNNs in there. And here's the block itself. And then when I actually utilize these, they will show up in this tab here. I think I only have one at the moment. This is down here, and it shows me who it's assigned to. So this worldwide name is assigned to this particular service profile. Now on the worldwide port name, I have similar pools. I have one for my A fabric and one for my B fabric. And if I go down and look at initiators in this particular construct, you see that I have, again, one on the B fabric assigned, and I will have one on the A fabric assigned to my one machine that I have assigned to a service profile at the moment. So let's move on. Let's go ahead and take a look at adapter policies. So adapter policies are really how you go ahead and configure your VHBA from a deeper level than the worldwide name or worldwide port name. It's more of the attributes that we're looking on here at the screen: floggy entries, ploggy timeouts, IO throttle cons, etc. So here you can set it once. You set all these attributes one time, and then you can reutilize this adapter policy, which we'll see in a moment, within your VHBA templates. So with that said, let's go ahead and move to VHBA templates. So VHBA templates are templates that you utilize to configure your VHBAs. Now you could do this manually on each service profile. for each, whether you have 1, 2, 3, 4, what have you, VHBAs within the service profile, is you can do each one manually, which is a lot of work and a lot of prone to errors. Or you can create a VHBA template. Here I created one called FC0. And you can see this is a generic VHBA template for Fabric A. I have this assigned to Fabric A. I have it assigned to your UCS-A vSAN. We can go ahead and change that if we wanted to the one we just created called Video vSAN, but I'll leave it a UCS-A for now. It can be an initial template, meaning that I create it once, then after that it gets assigned, I can go ahead and change that later on. And I would have to change that in every place that's using it. Or I could use an updating template, which means whenever I change this particular template, whatever service profile is utilizing it will get updated automatically, all of them. I have my worldwide port name pool assigned here. I don't have a QoS policy, but I could have assigned it. I have it going up to a ping group that we talked about before. And I have it going to a threshold policy as well. Just to create the backing one on FC1s, which we'll be utilizing in a moment, let's just create FC1, assign it to the B fabric. I'm going to assign it to UCS-B. I'm going to keep it as an initial template. I'm going to assign it to my B side WWPN pool. My ping group, I'm going to set to the uplinks that I want. I want this to go to the Nexus 5000 northbound. And I'll assign it to the FC stats for my policy. And I'll hit OK. And you'll see there it got created. Now, let's go one step further. Let's go ahead and look at SAN connectivity policies, which will start consuming these constructs that we've put together so far. So over here we have the SAN connectivity policies. Let's go ahead and create one. Create a SAN connectivity policy. I'm going to create this. I'm going to call it just SAN ConPol1 for SAN connectivity policy 1. And my worldwide node name, I'm going to choose from the pool that we created earlier. Now here I could go ahead and add my WWPNs, my VHBAs individually, or I can hit add, and this is where I would go ahead and do it manually. Or I could use the VHBA template, which I already created. So rather than having to create this every single time I create a service profile for every machine, I have VHBA template I've already created. Let's just click that, and I have this menu. Now choose FC0, which we had looked at before. My adapter policy, I'm going to use the Linux adapter policy. It's a one-time thing. Hit OK. And I'll add the second thing. I'll add FC1. This is the one we created a moment ago. I'm going to hit Use VHBA template. I'm going to utilize FC1, the VHBA template we created before. And again, I'm going to use the adapter policy, which is Linux. Now, if I hadn't set this up, just one note here, I could create a VHBA template for this window, as I could also create a fiber channel adapter policy as well. Now I'm going to click OK. Now you see my VHBA FC0 and 1, which is part of SAN connectivity policy 1. I'm going to hit OK. Now this contract has been completed, and I can consume this later on within my service profile. Now let's take a look at boot policies. So boot policies are over here. I already have a couple set up. I have boot policy 1. And here I have my FC0 pointing to targets. That this is right here. This is a NetApp cluster system. And I have my FC1 pointed to targets over here as well, which is on the NetApp cluster system on the B side. I have a iSCSI NetApp over here I could use. I could set up an EMC. I could set up different EMCs so it goes to different ports on the storage system. Go to different clusters on my NetApp. Go to Invicta systems. I have those all set up here on boot policies. And we've done this in previous videos, so I'm not going to set that up now. So now that we have the vSANs, SAN pin groups, worldwide node names, worldwide port names, adapter policies, VHBA templates, SAN connectivity policies, boot policies, let's go ahead and take all these and consume them within a service profile. So here I'm going to create a service profile using the expert. I'm just going to call it video. I'm going to click next. Now we're not going to do the networking right now because you could do the same type of constructs on networking, but we're focusing on storage. So I'm going to go over here to storage. And rather than having to do everything manually over again, I'm going to go ahead and click Use Connectivity Policy. This is going to use that connectivity policy that we defined before. And there it is right there. That's it. We don't have to define which VHBAs, we don't have to define the VHBA templates, the parameters of the adapters. All that has already been done and defined. Here we're going to click Next, and we can go through the various configuration options. We'll go to the server boot order. Again, I could create it manually here, or I could go ahead and utilize that boot policy I had previously created. So that's what I'll do here. Create boot policy. I'm going to go ahead and it puts all that information that I previously had defined in that construct. And now I'm just going to hit Finish at this point. And now I have a server's profile. I haven't associated with the hardware yet, but I was able to utilize multiple predefined constructs and utilize those constructs within a service profile. So I have the subject matter expert, the SAN administrators, create those constructs. And then someone else later, whether it's operations, whether it's your server admins or what have you, consume those constructs within the service profiles, which makes things more efficient, it reduces configuration errors, and streamlines the provisioning process altogether. To recap, storage provisioning can be a challenge in many environments, and the many UCS storage constructs available help us by allowing the admin to configure once, consume many, reduce recurring error-prone activities, and streamline the overall storage provisioning process. This ends this UCS Advantage video, where we show how unique capabilities in the Cisco UCS can lead to simplified deployment models with much faster service turnaround to meet the increasing demands of the business. Please go to www.cisco.com/go/UCS for printed collateral, including a brochure that highlights the information shown in this video. Thank you.